Welcome to another live stream of Roll Up Power. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Tap in, tap the fuck in. Well, we'll bring us here today, Mr. Roll Up. Check this out, right? We're gonna talk about prison. So if you're interested, tap in, tap the fuck in. For today, what we talking about with this prison stuff, we're gonna talk about guys that got a lot of time, but you would never know that they got a lot of time. Tap in, tap the fuck in. Prison can be real tricky, man. And this is why I be trying to enlighten y'all how things go. Tap in, tap the fuck in. I was locked up with some good guys. I was locked up with some bad ones. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed like the good ones is the ones that got too much time and the bad ones don't get enough time. Tap in, tap the fuck in. During my whole beat, I didn't ran across real good people. And they all was my bunkies. Good people that was my bunkies. You know what I'm saying? And they has had a whopping load of time. Sad shit. Tap in. Tap the fuck in. All right, so let's get it, right? Get the blunt first. Give y'all a minute to get your blunts rolled. Cause this a real one right here. You know what I'm saying? Everything I tell y'all is real, but this one is gonna open y'all eyes a little bit. So make sure you got your blunts rolled and your drink poured. We doubling down today. We doing both. Hit that like button. All right. So look, right? Tell y'all about my bunkie I had named Jun Bug. Right before I got out of prison. This was my second to last bunkie, right? Now I didn't have multiple bunkies during my time frame, but I want to tell y'all about this one guy. He was something special. You know what I'm saying? And actually, my bunkie after him, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about him too, because I only did a little bit of time with him. But Jun Bug, I did about a good 5 months in the cell with Jun Bug. You know what I'm saying? So listen up, right? So I done told y'all before, right before I got out of prison, you know what I'm saying? I had to take this violent offender program. It's called VOP in prison. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain places that don't have that program. So the prison that I was at, it didn't have that program. So they had to transfer me to another prison for me to be able to do that program. Let me get the checks real quick. La Gouda, what's the deal? Student's house. Where are you from? Detroit, Michigan, baby. Dirty glove. You know what I'm saying? West side of Detroit, 7 Mile to Belle Isle. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm from. All right? Now look, what I was saying about Jun Bug, right? So when they transferred me to this prison that had the course that I needed, which was Lapeer. It's a little city in Michigan called Lapeer. It's a prison there that had the program that I needed. So they sent me to Lapeer. When I got there, that's when I got my new bunkie, of course, which was Jun Bug. I might have been like 24, 25 at the time, right? Maybe about 25 at the time, right? Jun Bug was a couple of years older than me. So he might have been like 27, 28, something like that, right? Which country? Student's house. USA. You know what I'm saying? United States of America. You know? But like I was saying, you know, when I got to the cell with Jun Bug, right? Jun Bug was a cool ass young nigga. You know what I'm saying? He was cool as fuck, but he had a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know this until I actually got to sit down in that cell with him, right? So, all right, now I'm in the cell with June Bug. We kicking it. We telling our cases. He asked me my case, so I tell him mine's first. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, man, you know, I done did my bulk of my time. I only got a couple of months left. I'm about to go see the parole board in another month or so. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to do this program and I'm out of here, you know? Well, little did I know, he was in there serving life. You know what I'm saying? But if you listen to him and you watch his energy and everything, you wouldn't think that he had all that goddamn time. Like, you got life. Like, hell no, ain't no way you got life in prison. You know what I'm saying? So of course, when I came in there, I was on my high horse. Like, yeah, I'm up out of here. I'm about to go home. You feel me? Major Gamer 321. What's the deal? Hey, I ain't even got there yet. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned, tap in. I ain't even got to the crazy shit, you know. But anyway, uh, he get to telling me his case, because like I said, I'm thinking I'm in the cell with a guy that's about to go home just like me. Probably not about to go home the same exact day as me or none of that, but I'm thinking he about to go home sometime soon. Cause that's the type of energy he give off. You know what I'm saying? Man, complete opposite. So he like, I got life. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck you mean you got life? Like, I would have never believed that out of him. And, no disrespect to my boy Jun Bug, because that's my nigga, but he seemed kind of geeky, like you wouldn't think that he'd be out here clapping niggas. You know what I'm saying? You would think like he'd be in school, got his head in the books. You know what I'm saying? That's what you would have thought a June Bug. He was like one of them type. You know what I'm saying? Man, hell no. Nah. That nigga was out here smoking shit. He was a real street nigga. You know what I'm saying? Shit. He didn't put down more plays than I did. You feel me? Like, he was one of them. Funny thing is, before I got to Lapeer, to bump into Junebug, I was at Adrian. While I was at Adrian doing my time, I bumped into another geeky guy like that. His name was Smitty. Smitty was my dog. You know what I'm saying? But before me and Smitty got cool, he was real geeky type of guy. He wore the glasses. He had the little bitty lips. He was like the little Poindexter, like, you know what I'm saying? But Smitty was built like a damn action figure. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I was kind of like, man, I want my body like he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was perfectly chiseled. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I'm in prison. We all in prison. We don't got nothing to do. So of course we look at each other, not on no gay shit. But of course we look at each other, we like, damn, he got a nice physique. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't even gonna lie. I ran up on Smitty one day. I'm like, hey man, let me work out with you, dog. Cause other guys on the yard, they built too, but Smitty was like perfect. Like he knew the right exercises, how to eat, all of it. Like he was perfectly ripped. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, he perfectly ripped, but he the geeky guy. He like Superman. When he Clark Kent, he got them glasses on. That's how Smitty was. And then his name's Smitty. You know what I'm saying? So he was like corny, but that nigga was a motherfucking killer. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to throw that in there real quick about Smitty. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. That's my point about this. Do not judge a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? A nigga can look tough as hell and he really could be a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And a nigga can look soft in a motherfucker and he be and blew your head off. No play. You feel me? So do not judge a book by its cover. That was my little point about that. All right. Major Gamer, for sure. He for sure was a gangster. June Bug was a motherfucking gangster for sure. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me get back to June Bug, right? looking like a snake. Today, that's every day. You tried it though. Anyway, back to Jun Bug, right? So now Jun Bug telling his story. Like I said, the whole point on what I just said, y'all know I be derailing this shit. But the whole point on that was don't judge a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? Nah, back to Jun Bug, you know. So he telling me his case, you know. Basically, he's saying that it was his cousin. His cousin got into it with a nigga named uh what the fuck am I talking about? I don't even know the nigga name. But I called the nigga Debo. Cause basically that's what he was. He was basically a Debo in their neighborhood. Now, Junebug is from Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor is a little city outside Detroit. So if you got Detroit about right down here, you got, on the Michigan map, Ann Arbor like over here somewhere, you know. So Ann Arbor about 45 minutes to an hour away from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have no business with them. We don't know what's going on in their town. None of that. All we know about their town is it's a it's a college ground. I think it's U of M that's out there. You know what I'm saying? But they city is basically based on this college ground. That's what everybody know Ann Arbor about. Like Ann Arbor is the place where the college is. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't be nothing going on out there, but it's always a ghetto in every city. You know what I'm saying? And that was the deal with Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor was known to be a prestigious city and whatnot, but it had a ghetto in it. You know what I'm saying? And the north side of Ann Arbor was the ghetto. So Junebug was telling me he from the north side of Ann Arbor. They go by Ace Deuce. They throw the A two times. They call it Ace Deuce. You feel me? This shit was funny to me because I'm like, I never known Ann Arbor to be on shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of time y'all on? Man, please. He was on it. You know what I'm saying? So he was telling me, how things went in this city, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, damn, I didn't even know Ann Arbor was coming like that. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it's a ghetto everywhere. You feel me? It ain't just Detroit, Memphis, Cali, you know what I'm saying? Chicago, Alabama, it ain't just them places. It's a ghetto everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Jane, what's the deal? Yeah, I got a little line up. I had to line it up. It was time. I did the nature boy thing a little too long. It was my first time, trying it like this the longest I grew my beard out. So I was just doing it natural this year. I usually trim it and I don't have it that long, but I kept it for a good period of time this year to see how far it'll grow out. So I just went strictly nature with it. I ain't do no lining up or none of that. So yeah, I did get a line up. So you can tell the difference. I had to get a line up. But anyway, back to June Bug. You know what I'm saying? June Bug, he was out there getting it on. He was doing his thing in Ann Arbor. You feel me? Him and his niggas, he told me they crew name, all that. They was doing their thing, all of that shit, right? I was blown by it. You know what I'm saying? Because I never known Ann Arbor to be on nothing. Like, literally. Having beer is real hustle. A lot of comments getting from it from everyone. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right. Now, like I was saying, Joan Bud was telling the story, him and his crew out there at H Dudes getting it on, they doing their thing. He telling me about the ops, all that shit, right? I'm like, damn, that's wild as hell. You feel me? So while he telling his story, he told me how he, ended up in prison. You know, so I'm like, what happened? Because he kind of stopped for a minute. Like he was getting emotional. Like he really didn't even want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is I'm your bunkie. So you gotta tell me what you in here for. You know what I'm saying? So, he had to finally come off of it, and tell me, what the fuck happened. You feel me? Like he paused for a while. He didn't even want to speak on it. But anyway, he been in there 10 years. By the time I met him, he was already 10 years in. So basically, he came in when he was like 17, 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? I think he was 18. Yeah, so he was about 28 by the time I met him. He came in at 18. You know what I'm saying? He been in there 10 years. You feel me? So basically, the story was it was his cousin. His cousin called him. Jun Bug, get over here. You know what I'm saying? I got some shit going on with the depot. The depot of they hood. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So the cousin called Jun Bug like, hey, depot over here. You know what I'm saying? Trying to take my shit. Woody woo, woody woo. Jun Bug right on the whoops. Bet, I'm about to pull up. You know what I'm saying? So Jun Bug pulled up, right? When he pull up, he hop out. By this time, Debo choking up the cousin. You know what I'm saying? So Jun Bug say he walk up, he get at Debo. Like, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck you on? Leave my cousin alone. Woo woo. Cause Debo knew about Jun Bug. You know what I'm saying? So basically Jun Bug like walked up on him like with his respect card. Like, nigga, get the fuck off my cousin. You feel me? So he said, as soon as Debo got off of his cousin, Debo got on him. You know what I'm saying? Like instantly. So he said Debo got him all choked up and shit, right? He said Debo had him choked up, took him off off the ground, like legs dangling. So he like at that point, my legs dangling. He like, man, I had to up my gun and kill this guy because he was about to kill me. Like I ain't have my no breath. He cut my breath off, he cut my circulation off, and my legs dangling. So he like, I had to fend for myself. So he like, I wiggled my hand, all the way to my jacket. I pulled out the gun and boom, I shot him. Mind you, this is what Jun Bug told me. You know what I'm saying? By the way, what real nigga means, a lot of people use it, but what it really means. All right, let me break that down real quick. I'm gonna get back to the story. What is a real nigga? Right? A real nigga is not any specific person. A real nigga is a person that come through and do what they say they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? It's just the term is just used as that's a real nigga. But a real nigga is somebody that fall through on whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you call them, they got you. You know what I'm saying? That's a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? If a motherfucker will take a charge for you, just say like if y'all riding around with a gun, and y'all get flicked, he just take the gun. He ain't about to argue with you or nothing. I'm gonna take this. That's a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like I said, it's just somebody that stay in their ground. You know what I'm saying? If you need some money from them, you know what I'm saying? You call them like, hey, look, I'm fucked up, dog. Wooty woo. He ain't about to argue with you. He ain't about to be like, man, why the fuck you don't got this? Why you don't got that? Or when can you pay this back? Or he ain't doing none of that. A real nigga gonna be like, all right, what you need? Boom, and come through for you. That's a real nigga. So basically, a real nigga is somebody that come through. It ain't about how many niggas you done shot, and all of that. Like, that shit don't mean nothing. My kids can shoot somebody. You feel me? So, and I got daughters. If I tell them to pull a pistol and blow, they gonna do it. Actually, now I'm derailing again. Let me derail one more time. This recently just happened. Long story short, this lady took her daughter into like a Walmart or something. You know what I'm saying? She bought something, she walking out. Evidently, whatever she bought wasn't put on the receipt. So the man at the door, the doorman, whatever you want to call him, He trying to stop her. You know what I'm saying? Girl going to the car anyway. Fuck what you talking about. So dog, the doorman, he called the police. You know what I'm saying? The police show up. It's a police woman. You know, she got to tussling with the woman that bought the. It was like a TV or something. You know what I'm saying? She got to tussling with the woman that bought the TV, right? So she tussling with her, throwing on the ground, all of that shit. Mama can't breathe. Mama saying that she can't breathe. The daughter that she had with her was like 4 or 5 years old. The daughter went to the car, grabbed the gun out the glove compartment because her mama told her it was a gun in the glove compartment, just in case something happened. Well, the daughter got the gun, walked over there to the cop, boom, shot her dead in the face, killed the cop, dropped the gun, and went to her mama. So it ain't being a real nigga don't got nothing to do with shooting people or none of that because it's 4 year olds out here that will shoot you. You know what I'm saying? So do that make them a real nigga? So it ain't nothing about no street shit or none of that. Real nigga is just a nigga that stands ground. Oh, and about that case, why they beat it. It wasn't no charges, and they let them go because the police was doing too much. Second of all, the lady paid for the item. You know what I'm saying? And the cashier was trying to tell the doorman, like, yeah, she's straight. But the doorman, he was being extra. So he called the hook. The hook came out tripping. You know what I'm saying? Just like the doorman was, the hook was tripping. After the damn cashier already confirmed that she paid for it, but both of them was tripping. You know what I'm saying? So the little girl went and grabbed the gun and smoked the cop. The little girl killed the cop. She ain't kill a hood nigga, no oppa. She killed the cop. You know what I'm saying? Like, so being a real nigga don't got nothing to do with shooting no guns or standing on no block. It's just when you get called on and you there, you a real nigga. No matter if you white, green, red, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you there, you a real nigga. You feel me? That's what a real nigga is. All right, now back to the story. You feel me? So, Jun Bug, like I said, he had upped his gun while he getting choked out by Debo. He went in his pocket, he upped his gun, boom, blew Debo ass and killed him. You know what I'm saying? All right, that was Jun Bug's story, right? Now, when the boys get there, they took Jun Bug to jail, charged him with first-degree murder, right? Jun Bug whole thing was self-defense. So he trying to get back on self-defense. Let me tell y'all something about appeals. Appeal usually take a good 20 years. So basically what I'm saying, if you catch a case and you get sentenced to life, just say you get 25 to life, anything like that, right? And you want to appeal it because you innocent, all of that, right? And I'm gonna do a story on this too. A guy, he just got out of prison. He just served like 29 years, and he was innocent. You know what I'm saying? That shit happened all the time. I'm gonna do a story about that too. And I'm gonna tell y'all, about that. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Basically, Jun Bug was claiming self-defense, right? They wasn't having it. So they bought his ass up. He called himself getting back on the appeal. Everybody that gets sentenced to prison, I don't care how much time they got. Everybody that gets sentenced to prison appeals their case. It don't cost you to appeal your case or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So everybody do that. Everybody appeals their case. All you got to do is sign the piece of paper, and they give it to you as soon as they sentence you. As soon as the judge say, yeah, you got 20 years in prison, your appeal paper go out the door with you, and you sign your appeal papers right then and there. They tell you got like 45 days to sign it. But 9 out of 10 guys sign it right there, instantly appeal their case. That's why you hear people always appealing cases and shit, or talking about they gonna get back on the appeal because they offer you that appeal as soon as you get sentenced. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he got his paperwork in for his appeal, right? Now, like I was saying about the appeals, it take you a good 20 years to get back on the appeal. So if you got 15 years, you might as well not even appeal your case because you will be out of prison before they even call you back on your appeal. You got to think that appeal court is levels to that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get all the way up to the supreme level to get your case overturned. You know what I'm saying? You got to get all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court take about 20 years before your paperwork get up there. Sound crazy, but that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Correct me if I'm wrong. When have you ever seen anybody get out on the appeal? They only did 5 years. They got back on the appeal. How often do you hear some shit like that? A guy did 10 years and got back on the appeal. You don't hear that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? A nigga got to do 25 years before he get back on the appeal. You know what I'm saying? The nigga was only sentenced to 25 years and he didn't get the appeal to his 23rd year. You know what I'm saying? So, dog, that appeal shit, you gonna do a good 20 years waiting on the appeal first off. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a guarantee that the Supreme Court want to see your case because it can get all. Look, just say you in prison, right? And here it is, 15 years later, and the Supreme Court finally get your docket, and they look at it and they say, "Nah, he guilty. We don't even want to see that." So now they about to go ahead and mail you back and tell you your appeal been denied. You've been waiting 15 years on this appeal just for the Supreme Court to deny you. So you got to think about that too. The Supreme Court got to accept your appeal. And then that might take another 3-4 years before they actually call you back. They'll let you know like, hey, we accepted, your appeal, blah, blah, blah. Your court date will be such and such. You know what I'm saying? So that's how the appeal situation worked. So anyway, Jun Bug was saying he waiting on his appeal. He about to get out. You know what I'm saying? He good. He about to be back out here. Fuck it. He just lost 10 years, but the appeal court about to call his ass any day, and he about to get up out of here. So he had the same energy I had. He playing it like he about to walk out the door right behind me. You know what I'm saying? But real talk, he bought business. You know what I'm saying? He in there serving a light beat. You feel me? But the craziest part of all of that is he gave me the best energy out of every inmate I ever had. And I done had plenty of inmates. I done had niggas, I told them to pack their shit and go sit on base, or I'm going to beat the fuck out of you in this cell. You feel me? Like, I done had niggas like that all the way up to a nigga like Jun Bug. You feel me? Like, Jun Bug was the perfect energy that I needed to do the rest of my time and go home. You feel me? Like, it was crazy, God working mysterious ways. And I swear to God, when I was leaving Adrian, because I didn't know that they was going to transfer me. Like, they don't tell you. And when you in prison, they don't tell you shit. They tell you the night of, pack your shit, you riding out in the morning. It don't got to be no specific reason or nothing. Your ass riding out. So it ain't like they give you time and tell you, you know what I'm saying? So basically, I was comfortable at Adrian. I thought I was about to go home from there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm straight here. Fuck that. I'm cool. I could do the rest of my time here and go home. And then one day they just like, y'all pack your shit, you riding out. You know what I'm saying? Like it just happened like that. So when they rolled me out, I was preparing myself. I'm like, man, I might have to whoop my bunkie, you know what I'm saying? And I'm short, like I'm about to go home in a couple months. I don't need no smoke, you feel me? Like, not only I'm about to go to a whole new cell, I'm about to go to a whole new prison. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but new faces. Like, I don't know what the fuck is about to happen. You feel me? So, like, man, you want to talk about anxiety? Shit, through the roof. You feel me? Right when I'm about to go home, I ride out. Now I'm about to be in a new environment. You know what I'm saying? When I was cool with the environment I had, you feel me? And then boom, just ride out. Like, it's time to go. But at the same time, I got to thank the prison system, you know, because a lot of times they don't be riding guys out on time. You know, sometimes guys will be to miss that bus, you know, and they get held up behind it. That don't go on the prison's worksheet or whatever. They don't care. You know, that's against the inmate. You know what I'm saying? So when the inmate go see the parole board and the inmate haven't started on their class, you know, to get out on parole because they haven't been rolled out on time, guess what the parole board say? They say, oh, okay, flop. We'll call you back, you know, when you get it done or whatever. But for now, you just gonna remain in prison until you get this class done. Even if it take them another year or two to ride you out, you just gotta do that time. So now here go your out date. You supposed to be getting out on this day. But because the system didn't ride you out on time, you not going home that day. It might be a whole nother year from your out date that you was supposed to go home on. But since the bus didn't ride you out on time, you didn't got pushed back a whole year. You know what I'm saying? That shit happened. So, like I said, to the prison system, you know, salute to that for them riding me out on time. And I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? They just, you out of here. I'm like, damn, ain't that a bitch? So when I get to Lapeer, you know, and I started my class and everything, I got my bunkie, Jun Bug was the right energy that I needed to do my time. I swear to God, he was. He was the perfect energy. And he had life. He had letters. Letters, LIFE. That's what his paperwork read. Everybody else's paperwork read numbers. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a lot of numbers, it's numbers. No, his paperwork said letters. No, ain't no getting out. He's done, right? So look, right? With his case, that's what he said. We left it at that. Man, again, the whole time I did with Jun Bug was perfect, man. It was perfect, you know. He never was like jealous of me because I'm about to go home or, you know, none of that. He was a solid nigga, you feel me? And he had a whole fucking murder, you know? And his whole thing was he gonna get back on self defense, so he ain't tripping, you know. But it's like, nigga, first of all, you gonna do a good 20 years before you even see that appeal. So you only 10 in right now, and you thinking you about to just go home any day. Like, first of all, that's false. You gonna have to do like another 10 years, you know, before they even see your shit. You feel me? So here it is, literally 10 years later. Because I got out of prison 10 years ago, you know. So this is literally 10 years later. I got out 2015. So yeah, it been 10 years. Actually, this month, the end of this month, I think I got out around the 24th or something like that. So yeah, I around the same time, 10 years ago, literally, I was just walking out of prison, you know. So now Jun Bug got 20 years in now. Now they might be looking at his appeal. You know what I'm saying? Because they got so many appeals that come in daily. Because everybody appeal their case. Everybody do it. So they got to go through all of that paperwork. So that shit take time, before they get to your shit. So yeah, maybe he in front of them now. And another thing you got to remember, when you in prison, you are a nobody no more. You know what I'm saying? So they don't care about your paperwork or none of that shit. They gonna take their sweet ass time. They gonna come up with whatever solution that they want for your case and however they want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that you get royal treatment or none of that. You're a nobody. So they get to you whenever they want to. So literally, you're gonna be waiting a good 20 years on the appeal. No cap. If you happen to get an appeal within 15 years, you was lucky. But it's usually about 20 years. So when people tell you they waiting on the appeal, man, get away from them. You know what I'm saying? Because nigga, you gone. You gone. And it's a very small chance, very small chance that the Supreme Court accepts your case. And just because they accepted your case, that don't mean that you're going home. They might just want to hear you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? Yeah, he did such and such 20 years ago. We just want to see what he got to say. He not getting out, and we're not going to let him out. He's a threat to society. We're not going to let him out. We just want to see where his mind is. So you could get accepted for that. They might just want to see where your mind frame at 20 years later and still smoke you. Like, nah, you through. You did that. You know what it is. We can't let you out now. Come back in 24 months. They gonna 24 months your ass to death. You know what I'm saying? Especially with somebody like him. They got a high ass case like that. They gonna keep 24 months in your ass. Because the thing is, the parole board don't give a fuck about you. They just want to see where your mind frame at. A lot of guys, they could tell that they've been rehearsing. You know what I'm saying? They've been rehearsing for this parole day. So the parole officers, they know. Like, nigga, you not sincere with that. You know what I'm saying? You on some bullshit. You ain't sincere. No, flop. Flop means you go back to prison. You don't get a parole. It's either you get a parole or you get a flop. If you get a flop, you go back to prison. The highest the flop is 24 months. You got 24 months, 18 months, 12 months. Those are the parole, time frames. So you can get anywhere from a year to 2 years on parole, depending on your case. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get one of those, you get a flop. Flop means you're not ready for society. So go back to prison. We catch you again in 18 months. We holler at you again in 24 months. We holler at you again in 12 months. You know what I'm saying? And flop your ass again. Bold business. You feel me? So it's a lot behind that prison shit. It's easy to get in there, but it's hard to get out. So what my point with all that is Jun Bug wishing on the star. You feel me? But he was my dog, you know what I'm saying? So I was rocking with him. Like, yeah, bro, I hope you get out. You know what I'm saying? You a good nigga. You don't need to be in here anyway. Like, he real life was a good nigga. You know what I'm saying? But he was a real nigga on that street shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was coming through with the plays. He was putting this shit down. He was doing, he did what the fuck he did. You feel me? Me and him made a couple of street plays before I got out of prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, real nigga. We made street plays in prison. You feel me? So, yeah, Jun Bug was on all that. You feel me? And then when we had going to the cell, it was peaceful. You know what I'm saying? The whole time we out on the yard and shit, Jun Bug out there acting a damn fool. You feel me? But then, boom, it's time to lock down. And it be the perfect energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy. No homo shit, none of that. He didn't even play the homo jokes or none of that. Like he was a real stand-up nigga. You know what I'm saying? And he had that energy. Like he was getting out with me. Like me and him about to walk out the door together. You feel me? Like Jun Bug was like that. And he know he got life. You know what I'm saying? Like God working mysterious ways. You feel me? So anyway, right? Oh yeah. Let me say another thing about Jun Bug, right? Jun Bug, he was a great Monopoly player. In prison, you get a couple of game boards to play. It ain't many, but it's a couple that you get. You know, um, Monopoly is one of the most, well-known board games in prison. You know, so with June Bug with Monopoly, I never played nobody like him ever. June Bug was a perfect Monopoly player. Like he could beat the computer easy. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what it was with June Bug and Monopoly, but Monopoly was made for him. If Monopoly was real, he'd be Elon Musk. Swear to God. You know what I'm saying? I got to give June Bug his flowers on that because we never could beat him. And you know, in Monopoly, it's like up to like 7, 8 people that could play at a time. Could none of us do nothing with him. The old heads, the young heads, nothing. Junebug was a master at Monopoly. You know what I'm saying? What I said before about guys in prison. It's a lot of guys in prison that have talent. It's guys in prison that if they could be set free, the world would change. And I'm not talking about on some criminal shit. Like it's some talented guys in there that can present some shit to the world, and it would change the world. Like it's some talented guys in there like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they have new talent. They have talent you haven't seen. They have that in there. So imagine if they can get out here and they got the tools to do what they want to do. Like it's guys in there that could present brand new shit to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy, man. And Junebug was one of them. Like he had a talent, you know. I'm pretty sure it's some type of board gaming you could play, do some shit like that, make some money. If Junebug couldn't do nothing else out here, he could play people in Monopoly and kill anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like he was that nigga, dog. Like, when you roll the dice and just say like you need to move up 4 spots to get the property that you want. Say the property, say wherever you landed at, the property that you want is 4 spots away. So you need to roll a 4 on the dice. So that way you could bop, bop, bop right over there to that property. So you could buy it, put hotels on it, houses, shit like that. You want that little corner. You want to build that community, or wherever you at on the board, you want that property. You know what I'm saying? So you can start building houses and motels and shit like that on it. Man, listen, Junebug, when it came around to him, if he needed a 4 to get to that property, he'd be like, I need this 4. I'm about to roll it. Boom, 4. Swear to God, every single time he had something going on with the dice. You know what I'm saying? Like he'd call it and he'd get it. Just to say, if he landed on the property right here and he need the property right next to him, but he know you can't roll a 1 on the dice to move to the right next property. It's at least a 2 and up. You know what I'm saying? If he know that he right next to this property that he want, this nigga will call it out on the dice. When you roll doubles on Monopoly, you roll doubles on the dice like 5, 5, 3, 3, 4, 4. If you roll doubles, you get to roll again. And then you roll doubles a second time, you get to roll again. So you stop the game every time you roll doubles in Monopoly. You stop the game. Can't nobody else move. Can't nobody do shit. It's on you. You know what I'm saying? So if Jun Bug need to roll two doubles, two double fives, two double fours, whatever he needed to get back to that property that he need, he'll call it. Yeah, I need 4-4. He'll roll it. It'd be 4-4. That's 8 spots. He jumped from where he at to 8 spots over. The game on froze. He rolled doubles. He be like, all right, now I need 5-5. Nigga will roll 5-5 on the dice. And that shit will take him right back over to the property that he needed. Get over there to that property. Start putting houses and motels on it. Hotels, whatever. So the next few people that's coming around that corner, when they hit his properties, he taxing their ass. Jun Bug was cold with the Monopoly. Like, I've never seen that in my life. And I am a great Monopoly player. I'm good with numbers. You know what I'm saying? I'm quick on the draw. You feel me? I'm good with the business, all of that. So I am a Monopoly candidate for sure. You know what I'm saying? Man, like I said, Jun Bug was elite on that shit. He was elite. Straight up. You feel me? So big salute to Jun Bug for that. I wish he was out here to display his talent. You know, a lot of people would tune in to him because he have a guy gift with Monopoly. Like, swear to God, he won every game. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would kill us like crazy. But that was just one of the good things I was naming about him, you know, right? That he could play Monopoly, right? All right, so y'all get that point. Moving on. He was very active. He was working out every day, all of that. He was positive energy. You know what I'm saying? But if something happened, he was on you. You wasn't gonna hold him. And he was the only nigga in prison from Ann Arbor. Swear to God. In Michigan prisons, you hear of Detroit niggas, Pontiac niggas, Inkster niggas, Southwest niggas, Saginaw, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Grand Rapids, Lansing. Lansing got a hood. I didn't even know they was hood either. You know, Lansing is the capital of Michigan. So I ain't never know it was any smoke going on out there until I went to prison and I bumped into a nigga from Lansing. So while I'm telling y'all about a nigga from Ann Arbor, it was a nigga from Lansing that was on that tip too. Like I said, every city got its own ghetto. So don't just think it's these same cities you keep hearing about that's the ghetto. Like, shit, it's a ghetto where you at. Little do you know. You know what I'm saying? If you travel far enough in your county, it's a ghetto somewhere. You feel me? I'm gonna do a video about Pontiac too. Cause some shit just popped off in Pontiac. And I gotta speak on that. So I'm gonna be coming with that too. But just to say the city of Pontiac. I know a lot of y'all heard about Pontiac, Michigan. You know, DDG. Any of y'all listen to his music, to who he is, or you know whatnot? He is from Pontiac, Michigan. You know, Pontiac is another little ghetto city. You know, surrounding the Detroit area. Pontiac is about 20 to 30 minutes away from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? It's not far. It's a straight shot, you know, down Telegraph or down Woodward. Detroit to Pontiac is a straight shot. You know, it's just with the traffic and how everything going. But it's about 20 to 30 minutes away. You know what I'm saying? And Pontiac is the only city in Oakland County. Detroit is in Wayne County. So 8 miles split Wayne County from Oakland County. You know what I'm saying? So Pontiac is in Oakland County. Wayne County and Oakland County, nothing alike. You know what I'm saying? Nothing alike at all. Oakland County is one of the richest counties in the world. You know what I'm saying? And you would think that's a top prestige county, but it has a ghetto in its county. Which I said, it's a ghetto everywhere across the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might not be no ghetto around you, but if you travel far enough in your county, I can guarantee you it's a ghetto somewhere. Even if it ain't that much ruckus going on, it's still a ghetto. You know what I'm saying? That's just how life is set up. It's a ghetto everywhere, even in different countries. Like, it's a ghetto in London. You would think them, top notch people don't have no problems. They have a ghetto in London. You feel me? So it's a ghetto everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I never heard of Lansing having a ghetto, but they do. You know what I'm saying? But back to Jun Bug, like I was saying, he was a good dude, well rounded. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my nigga, my motherfucking nigga. Man, he had the energy of a guy going home, man. But what happened with Jun Bug, what I told y'all about all the good about him, I still ain't got to the rest of it. So y'all know I gotta break everything down. So just be patient, get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. You feel me? Cause that's just what it is over here. You know, that's what it is, man. So let me, further explain. I ain't even got to the half of it. So one day, this was literally, I got there the summer of 2014, right? I went to see the parole board that August. So I wasn't there long before it was time for me to see the parole board. I had to see the parole board like August 24th, 2014, around that time, right? So this was around literally like August 1st, July 31st, August 1st, somewhere around that time, right? My nigga Jun Bug come at me. We in the cell together. We bunkies. He like, look, bro, I got some of that Spud coming in. I got to move that shit. Woo. He like, bro, I need you to help me. Because when that juice come in, it got to go to your cell. You can't leave that shit in the hallway, the bathroom, none of that. Like, somebody else gonna pick that shit up or the police gonna pick it up. So it gotta go instantly to your cell. Soon as somebody make the Spud juice is the prison alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Again, I did a whole video about that. Y'all go scroll through the videos. I was speaking on the Spud juice. I said in prison, Spud juice is like having a gun or a knife. You know what I'm saying? Like, Spud juice is one of the worst things you can get caught with in prison. You know what I'm saying? So he like, I got the Spud juice coming in, right? Mind you, this is weeks before I go see the parole board. But I'm ride or die. I'm on it. You feel me? I'm there. I'm coming there. If I fuck with you, I'm coming like that. You feel me? That's just what it was with me. You know, I'm not like that no more. I'm grown. I grew out of that. You feel me? Like, I got kids. I am a whole single father to two daughters. You know what I'm saying? I don't be on that type of time no more. You know, but when I was coming like that, I was. I really was. You know what I'm saying? So I was down for Jun Bug. You know what I'm saying? No matter, even though I'm about to go see the parole board, I'm out to Jack Rick because I'm down for my bunkie. Like, Jun Bug a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? He done came through for me on some shit. You feel me? So it's like, what I look like not returning the favor. You feel me? So I'm like, what's the play? He like, man, look, I got this juice coming in within the next day or two. He like, it's coming up to the cell. I need you to help me move it from this unit down to the next. So at Lapeer, the what can you say? The buildings that you are in, they go by units. You know what I'm saying? So on Lapeer Correctional Facility grounds, it might have been like 10 units. You know what I'm saying? It's 5 units on one, basically like strip of grass. There's 5 units on that side, and then you got the grass, and then you got the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? And on the other side of the sidewalk is another 5 units, which is another 5 buildings. And they got their grass and shit over there, right? That's how Lapeer is set up. They set up by units. So it's about 10 buildings on this yard. But they all little buildings, but it's different buildings. And they go by units, right? So the unit that we was in, I think we was in A unit. You know what I'm saying? And he needed that juice to get down to C unit, which was 2 buildings over. You know what I'm saying? So he like, I need you to help me move this. You know what I'm saying? Because he had 2 other homeboys that was down with him, like down. P-Rock and Murder. Them was his boys. You know what I'm saying? You had Jun Bug, P-Rock, and Murder. Murder was from Flint. Murder was a gangsta ass nigga that was doing his time. He had 20 years to do. He was already 10 years in. You would have never known. Just like I said, in the title, you would have never known. Murder, you would have thought Murder was going home too. Like I said, they was the perfect energy. It was retarded, man. P-Rock, he from Plymouth. In Detroit, Plymouth Road, everybody that's from Plymouth, they call it P-Rock. You know what I'm saying? They throw the P's up. They throw the P-Rock like this. They got different ways how, they do P-Rock. You feel me? Shout out to P-Rock, though. Y'all know Snap Dog? That's where he from. Snap Dog is from P-Rock. Them boys, most hated on the west side of Detroit. Not gonna lie to you. P-Rock is the most hated hood on the west side of Detroit. Swear to God. Just like how 051 Young Money is in Chicago, how everybody hate Young Money, everybody dropping wires and all that shit, right? In Chicago, that's how it is with everybody on the west side of Detroit. Everybody dropping P's. Don't nobody fuck with P-Rock. They the most hated hood in Detroit, on the west side of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas some gangsters. I can't lie. You know what I'm saying? They put their work in. And they don't rock with nobody. They don't click up with nobody. None of it. You know what I'm saying? They their own kind. So you got Joy Road. I know y'all heard of Joy Road. You got Joy Road, and you got Plymouth. They a mile apart. What's that? North and south. They a mile apart, north and south. So you got Joy Road, then you got Plymouth. Then at the Plymouth, you got Schoolcraft. So another mile at the Plymouth, you got Schoolcraft. Another mile at the Schoolcraft, you got Finkel. Another mile at the Finkel, you got 6 Mile. Another mile at the 6 Mile, you got 7 Mile. Another mile at the 7 Mile, you got 8 Mile. You know what I'm saying? And that's north to south in Detroit. And I went live about that, so y'all can check that out too. I broke down how the city streets is, all of that, so y'all can go check that out too. I definitely went live about that, But anyway, right? P-Rock, one of the most hated hoods on the West. You feel me? And that's just what it is in Detroit, And everywhere. Everywhere got a most hated hood, But it is what it is. So let me get back to Jun Bug, right? So, Jun Bug murder P Rock. Again, P Rock is from one of the most hated hoods on the west side of Detroit. But P Rock a real nigga. He was on it. Like I said earlier, a real nigga come through. And you don't gotta be the tough guy. You come through. No matter what it is, that's what a real nigga is. P Rock was one of them. He came through for whatever. So P Rock, murder, and Jun Bug, them three niggas together. Oh my God, man. Them niggas was a force. You feel me? They was a force, man. Straight up. And P Rock, he had like 18, 19 years to do. And by the time I met him, he only had 4 years in. So he still had like another 14 to do. You know what I'm saying? He was sick about it, but it was what it was. He was cool. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no problem, none of that. You know, he was a cool nigga. But he was really one of the guys for real. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. He was one of the guys. He was one of them ones that was most hated. Luckily, my hood, we didn't have beef with P Rock, Plymouth Road niggas. We didn't have beef with them. You know what I'm saying? My hood was beefing with every fucking hood in the city besides P Rock. You feel me? Now, we done did some shit to them P Rock niggas, and I'm gonna make a video about that too. You feel me? On 8 Mile at that. I'm gonna bring that to y'all. But it was never no direct beef. That was just some shit that happened at the club one night. You know what I'm saying? But every other hood on the west side of Detroit is beefed out with the P Rock niggas for some odd reason. P Rock niggas stood on biz. They did something to these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So everybody dropping P's. You feel me? Like, that's just west side shit. Nah, you got P Rock, murder, Jun Bug. They was the crew. You know what I'm saying? So Jun Bug come to me. He like, I got murder and I got P Rock, to help me move this shit too. But he like, I need you to do it as well, because it's coming in our sales. So as soon as he come in, we need to get that shit up out of here. Woody woo. He like, me and you, we pass all this shit off to P Rock and murder. They go ahead, they load up their coats, cause you get these state coats in prison. They like big ass windbreakers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you not gonna stay warm in it, but it look like it's gonna keep you warm type shit. You feel me? I'm like, cool, let's do it. I'm like, nigga, I stand on business. You my dog. I got you. Even though I'm about to see the parole board. But you my dog. I got you. You feel me? So let's go ahead and do that. Let me know. Soon as that motherfucking batch come through the cell, we getting it up out of here. Because if the police smell that juice, they come snooping. You feel me? And when they come snooping, they gonna find me. You gotta think, like in houses, you got wood walls or, the plaster walls, you know what I'm saying, thin walls, shit like that. But inside, behind that wall is insulation. You know what I'm saying? So like smells and shit can get through the wall, things like that, right? Not in prison. It's nothing but cement everywhere. So ain't no smells going through no wall. Like it'll go through your house because you got insulation, and shit like that in your walls. So smells can go through your wall and you might not smell it for a day or two. And then by day 3, you walk in and you can smell the weed in the house or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or however you go. Because the smell can go through the wall. You know what I'm saying? But in prison, the smell ain't going nowhere. The smell going right back out into the hallway to the police nose. So if you sitting on some Spud juice in your cell, look, the police about to come get you. They can smell that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get rid of that instantly. So this one I'm telling Jun Bug, like, all right, cool. You about to bring that load in, it's gone. Soon as it come up these stairs, because you got a bottom tier and a top tier at Lapeer, units. I was on the top tier, you know what I'm saying? So that means you got to walk up the stairs to get to the top tier, right? Top tier is funny because I'm a top tier nigga. Tap in. You feel me? Now, with that being said, them bottles got to come up the stairs. So all these bottles is coming from another unit. You would think that the niggas that got the bottles, whatever unit that they coming from, you would think that they could just go to the unit where the bottles need to happen at. You know what I'm saying? Where they need to go to, right? In prison, it don't work like that. It's military style. Because in prison, you don't got the time to do something like that. If you in a unit across the grass and you come to the other side and you about to walk in that building, because that's a prison rule. You can't walk into another unit. You only can go into your unit. So if your unit is G unit, you can only go in G unit. You can't go in A, B, C, none of that. You can't go in none of them units. You only can go in G unit. That's the only unit you can go in. So if the juice man is in G unit and he need to get it over to A unit, because A unit is the bag. They the ones that's getting the shit moved off to C unit. G unit just make it, but they don't have a connection with C unit. They just the ones that produce the shit. C unit has a connection with A unit. A unit is the one that have a connection with G unit that has the juice. It's a chain of command with this shit in prison. You know what I'm saying? So even if G unit do get the word from C unit that they need the bottles, G unit is not about to shoot them bottles over there. They gonna look at that like that's a setup. We not doing it. We only going through a nigga that we know. You know what I'm saying? That we trust. And we know that as soon as we send a member over there to drop them bottles off, we know them bottles gonna go in his cell. He not gonna tell. We gonna get up out of there and we back to our regular day. You know what I'm saying? It's a chain of command with that shit. So it ain't like the nigga in G unit that make the shit, he just go ahead and shoot it on over to C unit since they the ones that need it. Nah, G unit members, they need to holler at A unit because A unit is the connection. They got to go through A unit. That's just how this works. C unit don't even want to deal with G unit. They want to deal with A unit. So A unit got to get the package in from G unit. You know what I'm saying? Get your drink poured, man. So look, right? I'm like, soon as the bag come in, which is the bottles, soon as the bag come in, we getting them up out of here. Have Jun down. I'm Jun. That's the power shit. Have P Rock and Murder at the door. We throwing them off. It was so many bottles that we threw half of them off to P Rock and Murder. Here you go. They filled up their windbreakers full of Spud juice bottles. The Spud juice bottles being bottles like this big, like baby bottles. You know what I'm saying? They be charging $20 a bottle in prison for that Spud juice. Spud juice is spoiled fruits, which is spoiled apples, spoiled vegetable, fruits, vegetables, potatoes, carrots, orange juice, all of that type of shit. This is what Spud juice is. Let me, I derail. Let me go ahead and throw that in there too. So with the Spud juice, right? The Spud juice is made up of a concoction, and I didn't spoke on this. Like I said, I made a video, but I'm gonna just throw it in there real quick. You know, the Spud juice is a concoction of spoiled fruits and vegetables. So basically, you put all these fruits and vegetables in the orange juice because every day when you go to breakfast, you get a little carton of orange juice, right? And you could just save them up. You, a bunch of your MA friends, whoever, all of y'all can save y'all orange juice cartons if you don't want to drink them. You could just save them up, right? Okay, so y'all save up the orange cube. Oh, damn, the orange juice for the Spud juice. That's the poet, right? Y'all got enough juice to have the rest of fruits, vegetables floating around, the carrots, the potatoes, the apples, the pineapples, you know what I'm saying? Whatever fruits or vegetables that the prison system give you for your meals throughout the day, right? You put all of them fruits and vegetables in this orange juice that's basically keeping that shit afloat. You know what I'm saying? You let all that shit rot in a garbage bag for about 4 or 5 days, right? A couple of days later, basically when you put all that shit in the garbage bag, you got to tie the bag up, right? Probably like day 3, you got to come back, you got to untie the bag because it got to burp. Just like a human being, like how we burp, you got to burp that bag. Everybody know about burping the bag. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know about that Spud juice. You got to burp that bag. You feel me? So about like 3 days in, you got to open that bag. Burp. You know what I'm saying? The bag burp like a fucking human being. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a bag full of spoiled fruits and vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Like, try it. If you think what I'm saying is cap, try it. Take some carrots, potatoes, apples, pineapples, you know, little shit like that, and some orange juice. Put all that shit in a fucking garbage bag and let it sit in the garbage bag for like 3 or 4 days. And come back, make sure you tie it up real good, all that. You know what I'm saying? Come back about 3 or 4 days later and open that bag. Watch that bitch burp just like your ass. Swear to God, it do. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't want to pay for liquor no more, there you go. You could drink Spud juice. Now, I don't know how long the Spud juice will work on you, you know, because you a free human being. You know, Spud juice work on niggas in prison because they pure, they don't get to drinking and smoking all that. But if you want a hood concoction, a prison concoction, alcohol, I'm telling you, it's nothing but spoiled fruits and vegetables mixed in some damn orange juice. You fill a bag up full of orange juice and throw some potatoes, some apples, and shit like that in there. Man, listen, you got alcohol. That's what the spoiled fruits and vegetables turn into, alcohol. You got alcohol, right? So, back to what I was saying. Again, y'all know I be derailing shit. I gotta explain shit, man. Cause I know a lot of y'all never been there, you know. And it's not for you. That's why it's meant for me to tell you about it. It ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? I did my one time and I got up out of there. Mm-mm. No. You're not about to be saying that I'm one of the ones that had to keep going back to prison to learn my lesson or because that's where I need to be. Mm-mm. I only need to go there one time. That was enough for me. You feel me? That was enough. That one time was enough for me. Now I done been to the county jail on some petty shit. Yeah, I done been to the county jail a bunch of times since then. You feel me? But back to prison? No. Big difference between jail and prison. And this is why I speak to y'all about the celebrities going to prison. I try and tell y'all what they face with, what's about to happen to them. Like, if they go up there, this is what's gonna happen to them. Don't nobody care about your name in there. You know what I'm saying? You are at home. You're not a visitor. You at home. So you gonna comply whatever they on. They don't care nothing about the name you had out there, man. That shit don't mean nothing to them. Half of them channels, like YouTube and all that, they don't watch that shit in prison. You want me to tell you what they really watch in prison? I'm gonna be for real. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. Since a lot of people be in my comments and all that type of shit, talking about money it is and who name it is and all of that. Let me keep it real, right? In prison, them guys, they don't watch TMZ and YouTube and all of that because most of these, what can you say, celebrities that be catching these cases and shit, they like YouTube famous. You know what I'm saying? And no diss to YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? But most of them is like YouTube famous. They not TV famous. And when you in prison, you're not allowed to have YouTube. You have a TV. And on your TV, it's not like you have Netflix and all of that type of shit. You got about 30 channels on your TV. And you got to single handedly press the button to the channel. You don't got a remote. Man, come on, man. So people don't care about your star status in prison. And I didn't spoke on that, but I had to throw that in there. So, listen, right? Let me get back to Jun Bug, right? So, I get up out of there, right? We gonna fast forward the tape. Oh, with the Spud juice, right? Murder and P Rock, they got their bottles. They shot up out of there, right? They went from A unit to C unit, got their bottles off. By now, the police watching because this is the middle of the summer, and you got on a prison coat. Why do you got on a prison coat in the middle of the summer? It's literally about 100 degrees. You know what I'm saying? So now they watching. At the P Rock and Murder ran down there with their prison coats, ran in the building, got the bottles off, right? Now it's up to me and Jun Bug. We the last two, and we got the other half of the bottles, right? So we throw the bottles in our coats. You know what I'm saying? We look at each other. We like, bro, come on, let's go and do this. Let's get this over with. You know what I'm saying? Psh, we shot down there in the prison coats. On the yard, it's about 95 degrees, no lie, on the outside. And we out there blowing across the motherfucking sidewalk with prison coats on, looking crazy, right? But niggas know what we on. So everybody just watching us walk down there to the building, right? And you always got prison guards everywhere watching. So they seen us walking past with our coats on. So he looking like these niggas suspicious. Even though P Rock and Murder got away. But now two more niggas coming out here with fucking coats on. Nah, we about to get on y'all ass. So Jun Bug ended up running up in the building. He got in the building. You know what I'm saying? Before I got in there. Because I seen the cops coming. And I didn't want to look suspicious. So this what I did. While Jun Bug ran the building, I ran to the bushes. Because they all chirp on their microphones, and say, hey, stop the dude coming in right now, blah, blah, shit like that. So I knew if I would have went in that building behind Jun Bug, they would have stopped me. You know what I'm saying? Because they be on the chirps. I seen them coming when we got down to C Unit. You know what I'm saying? I seen them coming after us. You know what I'm saying? So I had to reroute the situation. So after Jun Bug went in, boom, I let him get away. I went to the bushes, right? When I get to the bushes, I took the coat off. I threw the coat in the bushes. I shook all. Well, I didn't throw the coat in the bushes, but I like threw it in the bushes to shake off all the bottles. Right, shook off all the bottles. Threw the coat back on me. That shit took literally 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So by that time, I got the coat back on me. I'm about to walk in the building acting like I'm going in to see on it. Right, boys ran right up on me. Hey, you stop right there with the coat on. Woo woo. They got me, right? So I turn around. I'm like, hey, what's up? They're like, yeah, we seen what you did, blah, 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 all of this shit, right? Mind you, this is a couple of weeks before I go see the parole board, right? And I'm on the prison hit with Jun Bug. The same nigga I told y'all that looked like a geek, like he don't be on it. Jun Bug be on hits, for real. You know what I'm saying? So I let Jun Bug go through. I'm not one of them. I'm not about to drag both of us down and come behind you and get both of us knocked and all that. I ain't coming like that. You feel me? I'm gonna take my own weight. So I went my own way. And it just so happened me going my own way worked out better for me. Because if I would have followed Jun Bug and that C unit, which we not supposed to be in that unit because we in A unit, we would have got hit with the trespassing and having the bottles on us because as soon as I would have walked in the building, the cops would have jumped right on me. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard them chirping on the walkie-talkies. Like, this prison, you would hear a cop way on the other side of the yard chirping. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit be loud as hell. You hear that shit. So when I got the maneuvering behind the bushes, because on the units, they got like little blind spots. You know what I'm saying? The blind spot is where the bush is at. So I went ahead, jumped in the blind spot real quick so they couldn't see me taking the coat off and dumping the bottles out. They ain't see none of that. They just seen me walking down there with the coat on and turning towards C unit. But they couldn't see what I was doing behind the bushes because it was a blind spot right there. Well, like I said, by the time the cop ran up, talking about he seen me doing this and that and all that shit, right? He like, yeah, you about to go to the holes and all this shit, right? I'm like, man, I ain't did shit. I don't know what you talking about. Mind you, I know where all the cameras at. I know how the prison yard work. I done been there about a month and a half now. So I know exactly how all that shit work. You feel me? Nah. You know what I'm saying? Your ass tweaking. You ain't see me drop nothing. I dropped them in a perfect spot where I knew I couldn't be hit with it because I knew it wasn't no cameras right here. It wasn't no guards here to see me. None of that. You know what I'm saying? But if I would have went in the building behind June Bug, me and him, we both would have got bumped. You know what I'm saying? Back to back. Because with me going behind that blind spot, I took the attention off of June Bug. All the attention was focused on me. So by the time the cops ran up on me, it was 20, 30 cops surrounding me. You know what I'm saying? I'm standing there in the heat with my motherfucking windbreaker on. Like, what all y'all running up on me for? You know what I'm saying? They like, yeah, we seen you. You had the juice. That's all these bottles right here. You had all that in your coat. That's the cop. That's what the cops was saying. I'm like, look, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. You know what I'm saying? Flat out. Like I said, I'm 100% under the no snitching rule. Flat out. You know what I'm saying? That's me. I don't snitch on nothing. So I don't condone in snitching no way. But at the same time, if that's what you need to do to free yourself, you know what I'm saying? To get back to society and do for you and yours, and you productive and you could change things, and whatever you locked up on was on some bullshit or whatever. Hey, I don't judge. If you gotta snitch to get out, do what you gotta do. All I'm saying is I don't do that. I don't come like that. So when all them cops was surrounding me, they was telling me to give up June Bug. because they knew Jun Bug was to connect to G Unit. They was already on G Unit ass for making all that juice. And the COs that was in that unit, they wasn't doing their job because the niggas in G Unit had to connect with those COs in G Unit with them. So the COs let them make that spud juice. What the COs told them, hurry up, make that shit, get it up out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. So when they got it up out of there, it came over there to A Unit to us. We had to get rid of it. While we getting rid of it, they catch me. I'm the last one. I always shut the door. If you and it's a crowd of us, we all together, and we going somewhere, I'm shutting the door. I'm letting you and everybody go in first. I shut the door. I close the case. I make sure that we all safe. Whether if it's two of us or if it's 30 of us, I shut the door. You know what I'm saying? So I was shutting the door behind that whole transaction. We had Murder out, we had P Rock out, Jun Bug out, not me. I'm shutting the door. So I'm the last to walk out. I'm sealing the door. You know what I'm saying? I got caught. And I take that because that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? I shut the door. I'm the security. You know what I'm saying? I'm number one. I'm the prize. I'm the one that makes sure everybody make it home. You feel me? I make sure everybody make it home. So who is the real prize? The one that makes sure everybody get home. I'm gonna go to jail, but all y'all get to go home. That's who I was. That's the real enforcer. You know what I'm saying? So I closed the door on every situation. I closed the door. So when the Spud bottles got off to C Unit, I closed the door. I made sure Murder, P Rock, and June, they all got off and they all got all the bottles off. I just got caught with the last few bottles that was left. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it was a loss, but it wasn't a loss because the bulk of it was gone. Pretty much what I had was extras. You know what I'm saying? It was extras. So let me tell y'all about that, right? So basically, I got caught with the extras. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I wasn't by the bushes when they caught me. I was on the sidewalk. So they couldn't prove that it was me at the end of the day. They couldn't prove that it was me. But they knew that it was me. But since they had a blind spot right there, and Lapeer might have tightened up since then. They might put a camera right there in them blind spots. But at that time, 10, 11 years ago, 10 and a half years ago, they did not have cameras in that blind spot. So they couldn't prove that it was me that dropped that there. Because when they rolled back the cameras, it was two guys that walked by with prison coats on. And by the time they walked past, we passed the cameras. It went into the blind spot. So they don't know if it was me that dumped off the bottles or if it was him that dumped off the bottles. They don't know. And by the time they could catch up to him, the bottles was gone and my bunkie was back in the cell. Before, while the police was all on my ass about it, my bunkie had got the bottles off and he was back in our cell. Right? This how organized we was. So while I'm out there getting held up by the police, Murder, P Rock, and Jun Bug, all them then went in the building. They got the bottles off. all the police directing their traffic towards me because they see 15, 20 Spud bottle juices sitting in the bushes. And I'm out here in 100-degree weather with a damn coat on. So they trying to blame me. So all the cops surrounding me, they all in my face. When the ones that had all the majority of the bottles, they was in the unit getting the bottles off to everybody on Beezy. So again, basically what I had was the extras. But the bulk of the profits and everything, man, they was in the buildings getting off when the cops was out there on me. That's what type of real nigga I am. You know what I'm saying? I took the fall for everybody. And I was the one on the way home. All them niggas had time. P-Rock, Murder, and Jun Bug, all them niggas had time. I was the one that was about to go home. You know? And I still took the fall for everybody. So don't ever think I'm with the snitching call. I never been with that. Ever. Ever. On my kids, I never been on it. You know what I'm saying? So I get caught with all these bottles, right? Supposedly, I get caught with all these bottles, right? Now, like I said, Jun Bug, he back in the unit. You know what I'm saying? He back in the cell, all of that. You feel me? Man, look, the cops, they told me like this. They like, look, since we can't 100% prove that it was you, you know, that went behind these bushes and dropped all these bottles off, since we can't 100% prove that, he was like, this is what we gonna do. He like, we gonna go to your cell. He like, in your cell, if you have any drip of Spud juice in your cell, we gonna charge you with all these bottles. And the cops picked up all the bottles, they put it in the bag, all that, tied it up. They walked it down to the unit with me. So by this time, I'm in handcuffs. There's 20 cops walking me down the walkway back to my unit in handcuffs. And they got a decision made for me. They like, we find any juice in your cell, you hit. Because when after all that happened, they locked down the yard. So that way couldn't nobody move. But like I said, by this time, my crew, they went and see on it. They got all them bottles off, distributed to everybody. They collected the pros. Boom. They went back to A unit. Real nigga. You feel me? That's a real nigga. Stood on business. They took care of business. They got back to the unit. They was veterans. So if you is gonna hit a lick, make sure you do it with the veterans, cause these young niggas gonna get you booked, you know. So I did this hit right before my parole hearing with some veterans, and it played out, you know. So they walking me back to the unit. They like, look, if we find anything in your cell, any pinch of Spud juice, we charge you with all these bottles. I'm like, all right, cool, because I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, right? They walk me all the way back to the unit. We get over there. I'm in handcuffs. They all surrounding me. They got all the Spud juice bottles in a garbage bag tied up. They like following me with the bag, you know, and you know, the units, you know, is like clear glass. So all the inmates can look outside and see me walking up the walkway with all the cops and the Spud juice and shit. So everybody know that I'm about to get hit with all this Spud juice. You know what I'm saying? They walking me across the yard in front of all the inmates and all the fucking units. You know what I'm saying? So everybody know I'm about to get hit with the Spud juice, right? So now how it's about to play out. So they walk me down to my unit, right? A unit. We get down there. We go in the unit, right? The cop seeing 3 of his homeboys straight up the stairs to my cell. The cop come look at me one more time. He like, look, before my guys run in your room and ramshack it, he like, look, if you did it, just go ahead and admit it. we not gonna give you a hell of a charge or nothing. Tone it down because you didn't give us no problem. Blah blah blah, shit like that. You know, but he like if you don't admit to it and we find something in your cell, we charge you with everything. And he like, we checked out your paperwork. You about to go home. Blah blah blah. So if we find something in your cell, we gonna hit you with all that, and the parole board gonna flop you. You done. So they telling me to snitch on Jun Bug, Basically, that's basically what they saying. They like, we know you about to go home. We know you not trying to fuck up, blah, blah, blah. These guys are notorious for doing things like this. We just need you to point them out, blah, blah, blah. If you could do that, then we not going to charge you with anything. But if we find anything in your cell, we're going to go ahead and charge you with all these bottles. I told them in the handcuffs in our unit, A unit, while everybody locked down in the cell, everybody looking out the bars, looking at me. All the inmates is in the bars looking at me. And I'm standing in front of all these cops surrounding me in handcuffs. And they telling me to snitch. They like, they telling me to snitch in a polite way. They're like, just go ahead and snitch. We let you go. We know you trying to go home. We know you not them. Them guys got a lot of time. They not going home. Like, these cops was real life trying to gang me. You feel me? Like, they called all them niggas out. They like, we know it was Jun Bug. We know him by his nickname. We know it was P-Rock. We know him by his nickname. And we know it was Murder. We know all three of them, and we know all three of them by their name. They trying to coach me the whole time before the cops went in my cell. You feel me? Like, they trying to run down everything they can to make me say, you know what, yeah, let me go ahead and get them up. I'm about to go home. Let me get them up. I'm not hearing none of that shit. You feel me? And this on the G, because everybody that was in that unit, they was looking out the bars and they was watching me. They was waiting on me to snitch. And I didn't. I'm like, it's nothing in our cells. See your man's up there. Well, my hands tied behind my back. See your man's them up there. Ain't nothing up there. Right when that was going on, right? The cops that went up to my cell, they tell my bunkie to come out the room so they could tear the room up, right? When he came out the room, I looked at Jun Bug. I gave him a look. Jun Bug nodded his head, like, we good. I understood exactly what he said. He cleaned out the room. He made sure wasn't nothing in there. You know what I'm saying? That's what he told me in that nod. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I'm standing in front of all these cops, my damn hands tied behind my back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to jack my parole. Nigga, is that room clean? You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever was left, get that shit up out of there. Man, Jun Bug hit me with that knife. Nigga, you good. You feel me? You held it down. You ain't snitch. I been got here. I been came here. I been made sure everything was gone. You know what I'm saying? No matter what they could try and use, it was gone. And that was all in a nod. Like, we good. That's how we communicate with each other in prison. Like, what I just gave y'all was like 20 words. That was in one nod. You feel me? That 20 words that I just said was in one nod. Like, we good. Don't worry about none of that. I took care of it. You feel me? Like, I know what you thinking. That's what Jun Bug on. I know what you thinking. Yeah, we good. You kept it solid. This bitch good. Why them cops tore that bitch up? While I'm standing down there on base, the cops tore that bitch up. They came walking out the room, shaking their head. We couldn't find anything. That same cop, supervisor, commander, whatever he was, he came and stood back in my face. While I'm in the cuffs, I look at him. He looking at me, right? He like, I give you that. You got away. He like, I don't know who you are, but he like, you evidently you got some type of power. And he was like, you was able to get your way out of this shit. And he was like, I respect that out of you. So he told his boys to uncuff me, send me to my cell. They took all them bottles of Spud juice. They investigated whatever, they threw it away. Never charged nobody with it, none of that. All because I kept my word. I said there wasn't nothing in that cell, and I don't know what they talking about. That's all it took. A whole case that would have took down the niggas from A unit that had the connection to the niggas in C unit that was picking it up to the niggas in G unit that was making it. I was the bearer of destroying all of that. I could have destroyed all of that, but I didn't. I kept my mouth closed. I don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? That was all there's to it. And the deal that they came at me with, because they just knew it was gonna be something in the sale. It's gonna be some type of paraphernalia, whatever is gonna be left behind in that sale. Even though they might have got all the bottles up out of here, but it's some type of paraphernalia left in that sale. And any speck of it, he's done. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Me and Jun Bug, we TTG, baby. We trying to go. We had that planned out way before this even happened. You feel me? So again, fast forward to tape. When I looked at Jun Bug, he gave me that nod. Yeah, that's taken care of. We already rehearsed that. We already been through that just in case this happened. You feel me? Bow, and it happened. That's taken care of. Them cops came out the cell shaking their heads, sad. That motherfucking supervisor stood in my face. He like, you got away. You know what I'm saying? And he had them uncuff me, no charges, no nothing. And anybody that was there in A Unit, Lapeer Correctional Facility in Lapeer, Michigan, 2014, anybody will tell you I stood 10 toes on that. And I dropped whole location. So if you think I'm just storytelling, I drop whole location. So you know anybody that was there at that time, ask them. They'll tell you. My name floated around that prison yard that quick. Everybody gave me respect. Everybody. So that's why I said you could tap in with that time frame. That summer of 2014 at Lapeer Correctional Facility. Whoever was there would tell you, yeah, I held it down. You know what I'm saying? That way. So yeah, my respect was set. You know what I'm saying? Them bottles that they caught me with was extras. Again, niggas got they plays, you know what I'm saying? That was just extras. You feel me? That was just gonna be spread out to the guys. Like we already had our cut, you feel me? But these was the extras for the guys that was involved and you know for the connect. It was just some little extras. So wasn't nobody tripping that I got caught with it. That was extras. You know what I'm saying? And I kept it G. Psh, salute. Real nigga. And that's what they did. They saluted me. They like, psh, nigga, them was extras. You feel me? Like we got paid. Everybody straight. You feel me? What you need, nigga? Threw some shit in my locker. And my locker was fat. I was good. Jun Bug tell you that anybody in that fucking prison will tell you that again. That same time I just gave y'all. Everybody will tell y'all, ask them about Little. My name was Little in that bitch. Straight up, ask them about Little. Yeah, Little, straight. Fuck you talking about? He ain't kept it real. So you want to know? Ask about me. I I kept the whole empire together. They shook that shit. They took all them bottles, and everybody in all the units watched all the cops walk up the walkway with all them bottles in the damn garbage bag. And everybody was laughing. Whatever. Them was extras, you know what I'm saying? We did our part. Them was just extras for the guys, you feel me? And mind you, that's not like cash money or nothing. That's chips, summer sausages, cheese, shit like that. You feel me? So it's like we all that what they did was basically they took from us was just some extra, chips, noodles, shit like that. That's all it was. So my respect through the roof. Everybody saluted me. I was good. You feel me? Even though I was already good from Adrian because I was gang banging and all that. I was on that back there at Adrian. And I done told y'all how your name follow you prison to prison. You know what I'm saying? Don't think like you start over a clean slate or none of that. Like your name follow you. You know what I'm saying? So I was straight. You know what I'm saying? When I got to Lapeer anyway. But I threw that little razzle dazzle on it because I'm a real nigga. So I came through for my bunkie. He was the plug on it. I got it gone. You feel me? I closed the door. I got caught with it. I kept my mouth closed. We beat that shit on Beezy. You feel me? Ask about it. We beat that. We did that. You know what I'm saying? And they respected that. And I went and seen the parole board. I got my parole. I got out. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, in between that time, they knew that me and Jun Bug was doing some shit out that cell. So what they do, they moved me to another cell. And that's how I got my last bunkie before I got out of prison. I told y'all Jun Bug was my second to last bunkie. But this is my last bunkie I'm about to tell y'all about, right? Okay. So my last bunkie, right? He was in the Nation of Islam, right? He had life. Coolest nigga in the world. Him and Jun Bug gave me the best energy. My last 6 months of prison, that was the best energy of all of my time, all of my 4 years I did. My last 6 months. And it came from two guys that had life in prison. You know what I'm saying? I do not understand the logic, but that's what it was. So I don't even remember my man's name. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could remember his name. I don't mind shouting him out. I would have shouted him out. You feel me? But anyway, they knew that me and Jun Bug was moving to Spud, but they couldn't prove it. So they separated us. So they moved me from his cell to another cell. I was in the same unit, but they moved me to another cell. All right. By this time, I got about 35 days left till I get out, right? When they put me in the cell with this other dude. Now, before they moved me, they sent us letters and said that they gonna separate us, you know, because they didn't like how that whole Spud juice thing happened. They know that we did it, but they couldn't prove it. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't like that. So they had to break us up. So they both, you know, the jail system sent me and Jun Bug a letter and said, we gonna split y'all up. But it literally took a couple of months before they did that. So me and Jun Bug, we was ready. We knew they was gonna do it. But by the time they did it, only had a month left, right? And they moved me to another cell. So the guy that they moved me in with, he knew me. We was in the same unit. You know what I'm saying? Of course, dog knew who I was. We was cool. He was an older guy, older bald head guy, was in the Nation of Islam. I promise I don't remember his name. But anyway, they moved me in the cell with him. He another good, clean brother, all of that. You would have never thought You would have never thought that he got time. You feel me? You would have never thought, man. He asked me what I was in there for. I told him because even though we was in the same unit, but me and him, we wasn't like kicking it like that. You know what I'm saying? In prison, guys got dudes that they fuck with, and then pretty much everybody else they don't fuck with. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. I had my guys that I fuck with. He was a part of the Nation of Islam, so he had his guys he fuck with. You know what I'm saying? But now they put us in the cell together. So basically, you got a GD and Nation of Islam guy in the cell together. So now you got a gangbanger and a religious guy in the same cell. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like I said, I was cooled down, but I was still was what I was. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't no change now. I still am who I am. So if it pop off, guess what? I'm on it. I'm on all it. You feel me? So it still was what it was on it. So they put a Nation of Islam and a GD and the cell together, right? Boom. My last 30, 30 plus days left before I go home, right? They put me in the cell with this religion guy in the same unit. So I still get to see Jun Bug every day, you know, um, murder, P Rock, all of us, we still in the same unit. So when they wake us up for breakfast, we all still go down to base to get our breakfast. When they call us for lunch, we still all go down there for lunch. When they call us for dinner, we all go down there for dinner. When they open up the unit for us, we all in the same unit together. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to see each other on the yard. We still see each other in the unit. It's just me and June Bud not in the same cell no more. You know what I'm saying? And they was doing that on purpose because they knew I was about to go home and they knew that June Bud had life. So they was trying to see that if they separate us right before it go down, right before I get out, will I do something with him? No. I don't know what just happened. But I got up out of there, right? So I let I let all that happen, right? You know, all that shit slid. We was good, right? So they put me in the cell with the Nation guy. Me and him, we got cool. Even though he was on the Islam thing, I still was on the gang banging thing. Even though I was pretty much retired, but I was not on the religious thing. You know what I'm saying? So me and him, we got that understanding. We was cool, you know. And I'm like, shit, I just got a month and I'm gonna be up out of here. You feel me? So we was good, you know. Long story short on him, just so happened he one of the guys that was from my hood. He one of my OGs, and I didn't even know him. You know what I'm saying? Like he was one of the double OGs. You feel me? Like I had my OGs above me, and then you had the double OGs above them. He was one of them. You know what I'm saying? So when I got in the cell with him, he like, nigga, I know who the fuck you is, woody woo. I'm like, huh? I'm like, who the fuck is you? Like, I didn't see you on the yard and we in the same unit together, and, you know, blah, 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 but I don't know you. You know what I'm saying, dog? Like, nigga, I know you. I know who the fuck you is, woody woo. Bro was 10 years older than me. He was a double OG. The OGs is 5 years older than you. The double OGs 10 years older than you. The triple OGs 15 to 20 years older than you. You know what I'm saying? That's how they go. So he was double OG. You feel me? So I was a youngin' when he was on the streets. You feel me? So basically, he was telling me like, nigga, I roll with your people, all of that. Like before I could even say what I had to say, he broke me down to a science. Everybody from the hood, the females I told y'all about, the nigga that rolled with the females, he broke all that shit down before I could even open my mouth. Day one in the cell that they put me in there with him. You know what I'm saying? He like, look, I'm about to break you down real quick just to let you know We don't got no beef or none of that. We good. You feel me? Like, you about to do your time. You about to get up out of here. And not only that, let me tell you how I know who you is. And this is what he did. This is what real members of the Nation of Islam, this is what they do. This is how they react. You feel me? So before I could even go ahead and go off, say who I was, be on anything, he was like, look, I know you from the streets. You know, he like, you probably don't remember me, but I know you. And in prison, when you in the Nation of Islam, it go by your last name and then X. Just like Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? His last name was Little. It was Little X, Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? So in prison, it go by your last name and then X. You know, man, telling you. You know what I'm saying? It was his last name and X. I cannot remember his last name, but dog, he had me broke down to a science. He knew exactly who I was, and that's just real nigga shit. So guess what? I locked in with him for my last 30 days, 30 something days left in prison. I got my parole, I got my out date. I only got a couple days left. I'm skating. They couldn't do nothing with that case on me and Jun Bug, so they threw that out the window. So with that, they was mad about it. So they had to split me and Jun Bug up. So they just put me in another cell in the same unit, trying to see how I would operate with Jun Bug, Murder, and P-Rock. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't feeding into it. We all understood the assignment, you know, and that's what it was. So my last day came, you know, me and my bunkie, forgot his, might have been Smith X. I don't remember. But me and him talked about everything. He showed me pictures of people from the hood, all that. He jumped on the phone, called people. I called people. He checked out. He was official. You know what I'm saying? So me and him, we was good. Like, real nigga. My last bunkie, we was good. He was one of the double OGs from the hood. I just didn't know who he was, but he knew me. You know what I'm saying? I was a shorty on the block when he got locked up. You feel me? By the time I met him, he was already 20 years in. You know what I'm saying? So he left when I was young. That's why I don't know who he was. But he knew me. You feel me? And he proved it. Both sides, my side and his side, checked out. So we was good, man. Guy working mysterious ways. So I walked up out of prison perfectly. I didn't have no problems, no beef, no nothing. My last two bunkies, they was lifers. You know, even the Nation guy, he had life in prison too. You know, that was from my way, my double OG. He had life too. Both of them, they walked me up, they walked me out of there with no problem. People that had life in prison, you wouldn't have thought they had life. You know what I'm saying? They walked me up out of there with no problem. Again, I pulled a stupid move with Jun Bug on the Spud juice, but again, we beat that, so it don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? That shit gone. You feel me? But that happened. I got out. I'm out of prison, right? Now I'm out of prison, right? Okay. So this about damn near 2 years later. I had a 24-month parole, right? This was almost before my 24-month parole was up, right? This was like the end of 2016, something like that, right? So with that happening, I go to jail, right? I go to jail. When you violate parole, they send you in Michigan, where I'm at. They sent me to parole prison, basically. So for guys that violate parole, they send you here. Mount Road. Of course, back in the day, Mount Road was a prison, all that. Right now, it's a parole violator place, you know. So they sent me there for violating parole, 30 days. So while I'm there, I run into a guy that knew Jun Bug, that was from Ann Arbor, from his side, all that, you know. So me and him get to talking, and you know, he was explaining himself where he from and all that. I'm like, that's crazy. You know, when I was in prison, I had a bunkie like him, but I didn't tell him that. I was just letting him talk. He got to breaking everything down. Say it was from the north side, all of that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know who Jun Bug is? And he like, yeah, woo woo. He got to laugh and like, you know, on some clown and shit, you know. I'm like, you know, tell me what you know about him, you know, woo. And basically he said what happened was June Bud pulled up on some aggressive shit, you know, like trying to grandstand on the Debo guy when Debo was on his cousin. He basically was trying to Debo the Debo, you know what I'm saying? And Debo wasn't having it, so he pulled out his gun, boom, killed him, right? Because Debo wasn't compliant with Junebug what wanted him to do. Because Junebug was a known enforcer out there in Ann Arbor. So when the Debo tried his guy, he figured that he gonna play I'm Junebug, you gonna bag down to me. But Debo wasn't having it. So he had to pull his gun out and kill Debo. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? That's what the dude told me. And to be honest, on some real shit, like I said, I did 5 months in the cell with Jun Bug. Every day he was telling me about his case. Compared to a guy I had just met on a parole violation, I believe that bro on the parole violation was telling the truth. I believe him over, um, you know, I believe him over Jun Bug on some real shit, you know. So basically, he said Jun Bud did that to himself. He was being aggressive. That's why he got life in prison, you know. And I'm like, damn, that shit makes sense, you know, because if it was real life self defense, Jun Bud would be out. You know what I'm saying? He probably would have had to do a couple years, but he would have been out. Nah, they gave him life. Like, it's a reason why they did that because he was on some bullshit. So basically, the story that Dog told me matched what he did, and which is why the system gave him the time they gave him. But he was in prison playing it like it wasn't him. But again, when I talked to Dog on some parole violation shit, and he said what it was with Jun Bug, I'm like, that made sense, you know. I'm gonna roll with it, even though I did more time with Jun Bug. But what my man said, it made sense. I'm sorry to say it, but it was, bro, made sense. And that's exactly why he where he at and what he doing. It made sense. Jun Bud just don't want to come to his own truth that he was the aggressor. He didn't have to do anything, but he did. And it landed him life in prison. So, you know, that was the life of Jun Bud. But, you know, like I said at the beginning, it'll be the guys that you think that don't got that type of time be the ones that do had the most time, man. It's crazy. Humble is a real thing. So learn from that word. Be humble, man. If it ain't your time, don't shine. Don't worry about it. You will live longer if you could wait it out and wait your turn, do what you got to do. Because there's people in prison that wish that they could have your time. It's people in prison that wish that they could just sit and stack and save and stay out the way for a whole year. Don't even got to be shown. There's plenty of them in prison right now that wish that they could have your position right now. So if you don't look at it no other way, look at it that it is people in prison that wish they had your time to just sit down and self reevaluate, do whatever you need to do, start all over. While you thinking about committing suicide, these people just wish they was in your shoes to make something happen because they would go ahead and crawl up under that rock right now for 6 months. Like I told you, I did the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Call me broke, a bum, or I don't give a fuck. I saved my motherfucking life. You feel me? I had to do what the fuck I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I was there with them same guys that wish they had that type of space. where they would have crawled up under a rock, no matter what anybody said. They would have did the same shit and got their life right. So I learned from them type of people, you know. And Jun Bug was one of them type of guys. He wished that he could have had my time, you know. And even though he keep lying to himself, saying that he innocent, but he know that he guilty. But at the end of the day, he wished that he could trade with me or anybody that he be in the cell with that's about to go home. He wished that he could trade with him. That's why he got that kind of energy for those type of people. Because he figured if he keep gaining that type of energy, then one day he'd get out of prison. That's how jail work, man. But the reality is when you cook yourself, you done. You know what I'm saying? And the story that Dawg said, it match up, you know? It match up. So Jun Bug's ball business, man. I hate that for him, you know, but he gotta, you know, deal with it for the rest of his life. But he was one of the best bunkies I had, and my last bunkie was number 2. Him and Jun Bug, the best bunkies I ever had, my last 2 bunkies. And both of them had life in prison, man. And both of them was reaching for life, trying to get back on the pills. But like I told y'all in the beginning, pills ain't like that, man. You know, I hope them boys got out of prison. You know, if not, I hope that it's looking good for them. I hope that, you know, one day they'll see the daylight again. But if not, we all know what happened, you know, and that's just what it is. So, lesson of the day, man. Cherish your life because there's a lot of people that wish they could have the time that you have right now. Even if you broke and you don't have nothing, you staying with your mama, your daddy, you know, your cousin, you in the basement, wherever the fuck you at. I'm telling you right now, it is over 100,000 people in prison that wish they could have your spot right now. So if you think that you fail in that life, take my word. It's over 100,000 people that wish they could be right where you at right now. So just be thankful for that. Just make sure you return that when your time to win come up because it's going to come for you. That's how life wrapped up. If you could weather the storm, then guess what? You're going to shine through the summer. It's been another live stream of Roll Up a Power Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.